There are two different kinds of fisheries, wild fisheries and farm fisheries. Farm fisheries are commonly used in today's society. However, farm fisheries have many negative effects, ranging from the harm done on the fish to the negative effects that wild fisheries have on the environment. Fish in farm fisheries often are contaminated and easily spread diseases. A common problem is fish lice, which infect large populations of fish due to their very close in-contact living conditions. The problems with farm fisheries continues when the waste left from the fisheries eventually ends up in larger bodies of water. An example of this would be the Gulf of Mexico. In the Gulf of Mexico, the extra water left from the fisheries cause dead zones. Wild fisheries are sometimes called capture fisheries. Wild fisheries exist primarily in oceans and particularly around coasts and continental shelves. They can also exist in lakes and rivers. There are many positive aspects of wild fisheries. One of the pros of wild fisheries is the fewer amount of diseases that are in the fish population. According to CNN Health, the fish that are caught from the wild provide a better source of omega-3 to the consumers. Many people eat fish to get their intake of omega-3, hence the reason for consumers' reasons to buy the wild fish. Additionally, an article from The Guardian, the Marine Stewardship Council, or the MSC, controls a labeling system that tells consumers which species of fish they can buy, safe in the knowledge that they are not destroying the entire wild stock of a species of fish. This is limiting the amount of people that are buying certain species of fish that are being overfished. Both England and Australia, according to an Australian news article, have ways in which to inform their readers of the kinds of fish that they are eating and where they come from. The United States, however, does not give specific information to consumers about where their fish is coming from, unless specifically asked. This does not allow buyers to make smart decisions of what fish to buy. Without knowing, American consumers buy fish that is cheaper and more abundant. However, it most likely is from a farm fishery, causing the fish to lose some of its qualities. Issues with wild fisheries are overfishing and pollution. Significant wild fisheries have collapsed or are in danger of collapsing due to the threats of overfishing and pollution. Overall, production from the world's wild fisheries has leveled out and may be starting to decline. While wild fisheries flourish in oceans, lakes, and rivers, the introduction of contaminants is an issue of concern, especially as regards of plastics, pesticides, heavy metals, and other industrial and agricultural pollutants, which do not disintegrate rapidly in the environment. Land runoff and industrial, agricultural, and domestic waste enter the rivers and discharge into oceans causing serious pollution problems. Wild fisheries around the world are in danger of deteriorating for many reasons, including damage from pollution, environmental disasters, and climate change. As the ways in which the production of fish has changed over the years, farm fisheries are being replaced with wild ones. According to National Geographic News, a particular aspect that people can see change of wild to fish farming is the salmon. The amount of salmon from wild fisheries is slowly changing from wild to farm. Due to the growing demand for salmon, the producing companies are transforming their ways of production into a matter where the fish are produced for cheaper prices. The way farm fisheries are set up, they produce more and cheaper fish quickly. In an article published by MSNBC, farm fisheries are now using the cheaper and non-healthy fish to provide the basis for fish farms. The negative effects of this is that farm fisheries are simply using the fatty oils from fish caught in wild fisheries. The United States government has recently passed a bill known as the National Offshore Aquaculture Act that protects wild stocks and marine ecosystems so that wild fisheries will not be overfished or harmed. In research done by the University of Washington, the importance of fisheries mass production becomes more important than the quality of fish that is produced. The case held a specific problem with salmon as well, and the amount of fish that were being produced for their high quantity and low quality. The decrease in the amount of fisheries due to overfishing was cited in an experiment done by Harvard University that showed over 25% of fisheries being reduced due to the problem of overfishing. Because overfishing has become such a large problem, for wild fisheries, the Government Department of National Oceanic and Atmospheric Administration have been working to regulate the overfishing that occurs in wild fisheries for the catcher to make sure that to make a large profit rather than worrying about the decline of the fish species in the fishery. Though wild fisheries are declining and being replaced by farmed fisheries, the quality of fish that are caught from wild are oftentimes higher than that of farmed, as well as being a smaller problem environmentally.